Welcome one, welcome all to episode 299 of the Xbox Expansion Pass, recorded on Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. I'm your host, Luke Lore, the Insipid Ghost, joined by my co-host, the Intrepid, Captain Logan. Today we'll be discussing Black Friday deals, 20 years of Xbox 360 as we're on the anniversary of that. And of course, we had the Xbox Partner Preview, which brought with it a number of pretty darn cool game announcements. We'll look at the show's announcements and give our judgments of that. Logan, we like to start the show by offering words of kindness to made our gaming weeks better. But first, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. It's been a busy work week, and I feel like I haven't really done anything. But it's all in all, it's been a good week. I can't really complain. It's cold out. I'm hanging out. I mean, I'm obviously warm enough in here right now. So, but for all intents and purposes, I've just been playing some games when I'm not working and trying to. I got an air fryer a while ago, and I'm just trying to eat a bunch of barbecue chicken as if it was a thing that I didn't have access to a long time ago.
That's cool. That's great, man. That's really cool. I've had a good week myself. Obviously, I celebrated my 40th birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, my friend.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Oh boy.
Birthday,
In truth,
Mr.
we're going to move on from that. So the youth are watching. In truth, it was an incredible birthday. My wife got together all of my closest work friends, genuinely people I love, capital L love, you know, just and have for years. We all went to a quiet, calm dinner where it wasn't loud and stuff. So it was perfect for me. Lots of laughs. My kids were amazing this week. They did some incredible work for me, but not just that. They were just pleasant, a lot of growth, successful conferences this week. And then in the gaming space, I got the announcements and releases that I was hoping to see. And so I'm excited to talk about those. Big picture, man, my 40th birthday went really well. And it's been a good week. Very productive. Lots of work. Very productive. So
good, man.
Yeah. I've been very, very happy. So
that's awesome.
Man. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. I got a monkey off my back in that I had turned in some big projects at as a student, as me as a student, 22 pages, and I got to do some slight revisions, but I'm in great standing, and I have one more project to go, and it's just all right, man, I feel good. So
nice. Yeah. I have a much different understanding of what that phrase means, monkey off your back, and it's mostly due to George Michael and his song about it. So when you say that, I think of George Michael and his music, and I'm just like, that is not appropriate, Mr. Lore.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar, which I don't know. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me. But yeah, man,
come back and sit you down in the
I'm gonna Google that one later.
So Luke, your students are now going around saying "monkey off my back," and apparently this stemmed from one of your extracurricular activities.
You're not helping me in any way, shape, or form. You know that, right? You are making my life more difficult. I need you to be aware.
Isn't that what friends are for?
I suppose so. But those are my words of kindness to so many people. I had a book, 40 plus of my coworkers wrote about me on note cards, and they gave it to me in an album of just how much they appreciate and enjoy me. Students gave me cards. I walked in, I put it on socials. There was a beautiful happy birthday, Mr. Lore, that a friend had painted in Halo font. Yeah. Halo font, had the Spartan symbol, gear symbol. It was, and then Superman in the background and Batman searchlight over a cityscape. It was just cool. So man, I felt the love. My shout out, my words of kindness to everybody that really made me feel special this week, and so that was great. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. I'm really glad to hear that the kids didn't mess with you and say happy birthday, and then instead of 40 put 6-7.
So they did that. Yeah, there was plenty.
Oh, never mind.
But that's fun. They're great kids. They're having a good time. We're celebrating together. So that's the fun stuff. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Well, tell me, who made your gaming week better?
Gosh, I actually don't know that I'll tell you who I actually, it's good that you brought this up. Todd Oxtra actually made my gaming week better. Last night, he and I sat down and he's kicking up a new podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole intent of it is to kind of like talk about people in particular and their gaming experience. So the show's called Why We Play, and he's on his second episode, and we just recorded with kind of like my experience with gaming, how I became a gamer, when did it begin, kind of like big moments and stuff, and all kind of leading up to like Keelhauled and XEP, and just kind of going in there, which is ironic given the timing of not only like the Xbox 360 20th anniversary, but I was doing at the time around this time in gaming, just in my life and stuff like that. So it was really nice to kind of sit down and have like an hour and a half conversation with him, and just kind of have those shared experiences, those times where you can kind of talk about like impactful things that really just made you realize why you appreciate gaming over other hobbies. Because I don't suspect that people don't have similar feelings that when they have their own hobbies and stuff like that. Everyone has those moments. I went to a hockey game, I think it was last weekend, and sitting around and people were enthusiastic about it, and you can kind of tell like folks have their thing. In the way I feel about like going to a gaming convention and stuff is probably how people feel when they go to a sports game. And I was looking around, I was like, this could have been my life, but instead I got games, and I've actually been really, really happy. So it was nice to kind of talk about that with him. So definitely keep an eye out for Why We Play with Todd Oxford, because that was awesome to sit down and do with him.
I will do that, man. That's awesome. I'm here for it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Send me the link once it goes live.
Will do.
So, well, look, man, we had a lot of gaming news. I know we've got an anniversary of the Xbox 360.
Yep. Weird.
Xbox partner preview was there, and of course, I had some really cool stuff. So I'm going to start with my stuff that I'm just stoked with. Silent Hill 2, previously PlayStation and PC exclusive, is out now on Xbox Series S and X. Cool part is it launched at half off, so it's like that. Hey, sorry we weren't here for a year. Games at $40. Games at $35. $5. Might even be 30 actually, but I got the deluxe edition. Not that I'm ever going to use that stuff. I just like supporting when they do stuff like that. And somebody had gifted me like I think a couple bucks to Xbox like for my birthday, and so I was able to snag that one. So I'm very excited to go into Silent Hill 2 finally, because I've never played it, and I purposely held myself back, just kind of fingers crossed that I'd get to. And like I'm stoked to go into that. And then I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm gonna get the Terrifier game for my Steam Deck, so I can play that like while we're traveling for Thanksgiving, because I really want to play that game. I know that's just dumb fun, but like being Art the Clown and doing something stupid, like I'm excited. I'm gonna get that one on Steam because that just came out as well. And then for Black Friday, like I do want us to talk Black Friday sales, but I've been talking about it. I'm gonna get Dying Like the Beast as well, and just add that to the backlog, and then as soon as I can, just chip in. But Silent Hill 2 and Terrifier are going to be first up. Dying Like the Beast, finally going to snag that. But I had I was trying to get it from my app last night. It just wasn't quite working, and I was able to get Silent Hill 2 though. So,
that's good. Yeah, I've been genuinely interested. I haven't sat down to talk to anyone about watching the like someone play through Silent Hill 2, but that's definitely something I would be down to like watch someone play and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm hoping I'll be able to pick up and do. But it's so weird to try and like actually find time to not play games and to watch someone else play games. Oddly enough.
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that for sure. I do want to give a shout out real quick to Nissa Hauer in the chat, hanging out with us. She was first in today. Clutch Kwando is here, as is Gentle Stone. I saw them in another chat this morning with Jesse Norris, which is amazing. X Bacon Gaming in the house, as well as Freight Conductor and my boy, Hometown Hero. Good to see you guys. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, so I just want to give them a shout out. But man, Silent Hill 2, I'm so excited. Like that's gonna be just, I love horror games, like well-made horror games, not like the cheap, just no frills ones. Really just stoked for that. And
didn't we get news that they were going to be working on the first one? Okay.
Yep. They're
I did hear that right. One. Okay. Yeah, because that was to me, I was like, okay, well, I'm glad that they picked 2, because 2 is a very famous one. They've done a very good job with it for all accounts, from what I've seen. So I'm glad to hear that they're going back and starting up the first one. it's one of those weird situations where, you know how I am about remakes and remasters. Like I would rather see new IP come out and get, lofted up into the higher echelons of cool games to talk about.
Right.
But stuff like Silent Hill, like there's just certain franchises that I think really they kind of lived because of the technology constraints back in the day.
Yeah.
Especially with like the fog and stuff like that. You play Mario Kart or like Diddy Kong Racing on N64, and there's this fog. It was a render issue, but when you take that away, the world felt really empty. So, and same thing with Silent Hill. If you took away that render fog that they just had to build in there because you couldn't go that far in view distance, it totally kills the atmosphere. But they've done a really good job with it, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they do with the Silent Hill 1, kind of the same way that we had that Dead Space remake, and how good looking that was.
I hope so, because I think Bloober Team got a weirdly bad rap for no reason.
Really?
I know that. Yeah, I really thought I liked Blair Witch. I liked that game. I thought that was a good Blair Witch game. I enjoy what Bloober does most of the time. I do think they've entered a new tier with Silent Hill 2 and Chronos. Like that kicks them into, all right, we're expecting A tier or better.
Yeah.
Because they were like B tier in a fun way, horror. And like the medium was a good attempt with new technology. It just didn't quite land where they wanted it to. But I felt like Bloober Team sometimes gets a bad rap because they do a lot of great stuff for horror. Well, I'm really happy to see them thriving thanks to Chronos and thanks to Silent Hill 2. So that's a team I want to have on. I really do want to have them on sometime.
Yeah. See, I feel like I have the same feeling about like Elphonic. Like I feel like Elphonic makes really good games, but they just don't hit, and I don't know why, because they pick good IPs for their games, like Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed. You've got the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They've done a really good job, but for whatever reason, they just don't land in the zeitgeist.
Well, even though they have dedicated. New one.
Oh, that's
Yep. As soon as Halloween comes out, I'm snagging that.
Yeah.
Yep. It has been such a gift to discover that I enjoy horror, well-made horror. You know what I mean? Like, but that has been
horror for sure.
Yeah, just because it was a genre I didn't explore and didn't engage with for so long. So now I got this massive bit. What?
We just got 5 gifted subs from Freight Conductor coming in, being a boss.
You are being a boss, my friend. Thank you so much, Freight Conductor. 5 gifted subs to XEP family. We appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. That really does help. We are grateful. Thank you. I'm counting that as a birthday present. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. But those, that's stuff that I'm just looking forward to in the short term is Dying Light, Terrifier, and Silent Hill 2. To kind of try to pull me away from Arc Raiders, which I'm just living in right now. I'm just living in Arc Raiders in the best way. I'm having a great time with that game.
Yeah.
I love doing solo runs. I don't care if I don't get pink loot. I like just the loop that it offers because I like third person. I'm really enjoying the crafting and the creation stuff there. Really enjoy the community as well. Arc Raiders community is really good. Like we last night banded together the whole server. We went after
Trios.
a matriarch. Trios is meant to be a bit more like hostile.
Yeah.
For PvP, and they also have Stellan Montes, which is a map designed like, hey, you're gonna go in there, you're gonna fight. But if I'm solos, almost no one fights with me, and I enjoy that too. It's a better community experience because the loop is very similar to a Sea of Thieves on a good day, not a Sea of Thieves on a bad day. The loop is a very much a Sea of Thieves on a good day kind of vibe, and the community to me is far more supportive of each other in Arc Raiders than in anything else similar to it that I've experienced, Sea of Thieves included. But that, it's a good time, and I'm just grateful to those devs for making it. I really enjoy it. I think the surrounding conversations of Game of the Year and AI and stuff are not in any way detracting the community that's having a blast and the people that are buying it, which is great to see, I think.
It's surprising to me to look at what that game's doing with how they do like queuing and stuff like that. I really wish in the back of my mind, I keep spinning this around as an idea that might work for Sea of Thieves, because you're not wrong. The loop, the gameplay loop of that is definitely there. The difference is that there's progression. There's a vertical progression with your weapons, with your gear, stuff like that. Whereas Sea of Thieves is all horizontal, and that's great for keeping a game balanced across like what you're playing, because you can jump into the dam, and you can have people that have the best weapons in the game. There's no way you're gonna win against them unless you really catch them off guard or something else happens.
Or talk your way through it, which has happened many times. There's a lot of negotiation.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those situations where I would love to see what Sea of Thieves could do if they offered an opportunity for you to like spawn in, if you wanted a sloop and you or one other person. Because I think the more people you have with you, generally the more confident you are to engage first with players hostilely or in a hostile manner, as opposed to try and talk your way. Because I think a lot of folks run into that situation where if you're solo and you're with another solo and you two meet, there's an unsteady, like uncertain, you don't have backup. You can't trust that someone else is going to get you out of it. So you have to decide how you want to approach it. And there's an interesting kind of like a social studies aspect there on how you treat people in games when you have friends or when you don't have friends with you, and what type of person you are. And I see the clips all the time of
that's power
people,
dynamic.
Yeah, a lot of people in clips and stuff in solos, they'll get shot at and they'll turn around and be like, "What are you doing? Are you really in there?" And the other person starts feeling ashamed that they just started shooting at this person who's got their guns holstered and just running through a building. And it's like, this is the type of person you want to be when you're alone. Are you sure this is how you want to be? And then people are like, I'm really sorry.
I do that to people.
You shame them for acting this way when there was nothing threatening them.
Yep. Yeah, it's rude. Hey, did I shoot at you? That's what I usually say. Like, did I shoot at you? I could have. I didn't. Come on now. We're out here getting sweet loots.
Yeah.
But in 3v3s, that does not work. And
no,
you go in with a safe pocket. You hope you find a body. Put whatever you can in that safe pocket, and you just aim for the head whenever you can.
Can I share a little anecdote that made me feel bad when I was playing? I was playing with Chick and our friend Wailing Witch.
I watched her.
We went in. Yeah, we were going around and we came across a team that was extracting, and we pushed. It's trios, we wanted to
pushed while they were going
extracting and getting attacked by Ark.
Oh, you're a bad person.
So here's the fun thing. When I went to go knock out the person, they're like, and to think we let you walk by us and we didn't attack. And I was like, I didn't know. I don't know.
You feel bad, Logan. I hope you feel bad. You can fight all the way up to where the light is green, and then it's like, all right, there you go. Yep.
Look, the gates went down.
Well, I do want to talk Black Friday deals and Xbox 360 memories.
Yeah.
We'll do Xbox 360 towards the back half. Black Friday deals, though, I think are pretty exciting. A lot of people are looking in at this one. I do think this year's Black Friday deals will be different in how they are received and how many people are willing to put their money into the Xbox ecosystem. I saw that PlayStation has this incredible deal. You can get like $100 off of PlayStation hardware. There's a lot of that's a thing somewhere. But yeah, stay focused. But my big thing is, I wonder, with the Steam machine on the horizon, with PlayStation sales and their increasing value proposition of PlayStation Plus, I wonder how many people are willing to invest into the Xbox ecosystem. I'm just curious, because I always find these sales to be amazing times for people to get great games, right? To just go in and get great games. And pure Xbox is often like where I go for like just a quick list of things. They have a great list of like, 90 to 95% off that includes Borderlands 3 or, one of our personal favorite gems of the generation, Immortals of Avium. Like Immortals of Avium is $7. You know what I mean? It's a gem from the generation. It's nothing crazy. Need for Speed Heat is in there. That's a fun game. Jedi Fallen Order is $4. That game is amazing.
I need to finish that. I feel so bad.
And it's just a great game. And like even Ghost Recon Breakpoint, $7. Like that's a great game. Yeah, they're older in the generation, but I like Black Friday deals because it's like, hey, have you played Watch Dogs Legion? Because you probably should. It's good. Obviously, it's not the GOAT, but if you've got $10 in your pocket, you're sitting on some reward points. You can really get a 30, 40-hour experience if you want it, or a great 10-hour experience if you want it. And so I like sales like this for that reason, you know?
Yeah. Same. There's a lot of games that I haven't played because of Black Friday sales. But there's absolutely like something to be said about the deals that I've been looking, especially on Xbox, because just last month we had the release of Outer Worlds 2, and I absolutely loved living in that game, and it's 20% off right now. And I'm sitting here like looking around for Donkey Kong Bonanza on deal, and I'm like going to Costco's to try and like scoop up a good deal on it, and I can't find it. And I'm like, man, if I had waited on Outer Worlds and not done the review for it, and I was just kind of like hoping for a deal, 20% off is fantastic.
Yeah,
and it's killer to me that like that is a heck of a game right there. And Battlefield 6, 15% off. A heck of a game. Or no, wait, Battlefield 6.
Battlefield 6 is great.
Is a really amazing game, especially if you want that kind of like big war kind of feeling when you're jumping into a shooter. Cyberpunk Ultimate Edition, $40 right now, 50% off. Fantastic game. Avowed came out earlier this year, 33% off. It's like there's some fantastic games that came out just this year, within the last 11 months. And we're already seeing some really good deals on those. So I'm like, man, if I wasn't on Game Pass and I wanted to get some of these titles on a deal, this is a perfect time to get them. So if you don't want to wait longer.
No, I'm with you. I told you, I know I'm going to get Dying Light the Beast. That's what I'm going to get. And I'm thinking Sonic X Shadow or Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, because I love Sonic. I love Sonic Racing as well. That game continues to be amazing. But I'm thinking Sonic and Shadow Generations is one that I want to snag, and add that to the play it as I like kind of game. And so like I've got these games that I know I want, but I'm purposely budgeting. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I got to be smart about this because games are expensive. So I'm gonna go with Dying Light for sure, because I've been saying it for months. And then it's like, I think I'm gonna spend another $20 somewhere, maybe 25 at the most. Where do I want to put it? And so I'm just toying with different things. I saw Metal Gear Solid Delta's on pretty good sale. Not enough down for me, but I know that game's really good. So
it's a wild one to me, and this was an issue that I had for a long time.
Sure.
So I'm a fan of Destiny 2. Played a lot of it and dropped off after Lightfall, right? This Black Friday, they have for $14 the Legacy Collection of Destiny 2, which has every single campaign and pretty much all of the dungeon packs and all of the weapon packs and stuff since the game came out. Basically anything that's been in the past that they haven't like completely removed from the game that's still accessible, all of that for $14 on Xbox right now. And I'm just like, that's wild. You get the entire game basically up to Renegade, which is coming out soon, that you can just jump into right now for $14. And I'm like, this is the problem that they finally solved with Destiny 2. If you ever wanted to get into Destiny 2, there was such a huge breadth of content to get, but you had to piecemeal it out and look for deals and stuff like that. They finally fixed the problem. They finally made it so that you can actually buy all of it in one go, and it's actually really cheap right now.
Yeah. So it's funny to me because I'm talking about all these games that I want to play, and they're all single player. And when we were talking Arc, you did of course it's natural for you because you Sea of Thieves is your jam, but you were like, oh, Sea of Thieves horizontal, and you really went in there. And then the other game you've brought up in our sales just now is Destiny, which is another live service multiplayer experience. And it's funny because I'm like, I need to do these single player things. I'm ready to go into these worlds, because in Arc Raiders I play a lot by myself, but that's a multiplayer thing. I'm looking to get single player experiences. And so it's a funny I don't know if it's funny, but like it's just interesting that you're like, I'm looking at Destiny. I'm like, I don't even know that Destiny exists anymore. That's not even in my mind, you know?
Yeah.
Which is I think so telling as to like how these game communities exist, because the Arc Raiders world is so massive. The Helldivers 2, which I also adore, so massive.
Yeah.
And Destiny, still pretty big, just in its own corner, and other, Warcraft own corner. And it's funny because, and this is not a segue, it's just an interesting parallel. We're at the Game Awards time. The Game Awards nominees are announced. And some of us will look at these lists and be like, are you kidding me? This game over this game? Or how is this game not there? And it's like, I don't even know what world you're in that you would consider that. And it's really interesting to see how gamers react and what they value and think is worth it and whatnot. Doom: The Dark Ages is on sale, right? That game has a huge community. But for me, a diehard Doom fan tattooed on my body, I haven't touched Dark Ages, and I'm not going to probably go back to it until some big stuff hits it. And it's had some good updates. But that's just one of those things, and how big gaming is, and how small some communities are, how big some communities are, and how they do or don't interact.
Yeah. And that's funny because it's actually 50% off. You've also got like the Oblivion remaster that's like 33% off. And I was sitting here trying to like be able to come back and be like, no, I definitely have first player games installed that I sit down and play. And I'm looking at my list of installed stuff on Xbox, and it's like Arc Raiders, COD, WoW, Fallout 76, Fortnite, CFE.
You're a multiplayer guy by nature, and that's just your nature. But I often wonder, and I'm curious how our audience thinks of this. So if you're watching live or you're in the comments, please drop a note on this one. I prefer single player gaming most of the time because my job is so social. All day I'm being spoken to, talking with people, being asked questions. I have to have the answers. So single player games for me kind of shut that down, and I exist as part of the world, not the center of a classroom or the center of being needed by adults. That is how it is for me. Your job, you work remotely, correct?
Yeah, but in that sense, like it's 50-50 because all of my communication has to be done online. So I'm constantly having to be like, okay, what meetings do I have set up? Who do I need to call for information? So there are downtimes where I'm not social, and I can just kind of like grind through stuff that I'm working on. But I still spend a fair amount of my week socializing online and stuff like that, and trying to be something akin to funny for work people. I try to make them laugh.
I'm not funny anymore. I've crossed the barrier. Somewhere in the last few years, it's like, oh, nobody finds me funny anymore. They're tolerating me. I appreciate them. Look at Silkanik coming in here saying, I'm more single player because multiplayer games are mostly PvP or have a PvP side that I don't like. And also story narrative are usually stronger in single player. Yeah, absolutely fair.
That's where I get it. The story, like Silkanik talked about, that's where story, like you tell me like a good story in a game, I will sit down and play the heck out of that.
Fair. Good stuff. We have Gentle Stone coming in chat saying, I just had never gotten into multiplayer games. I tend to not be social. Makes sense. And there's so many good single player too. Yeah. I do like when games can be single player and you don't lose anything, but they have a multiplayer element if you're interested. I know Marvel Cosmic Invasion's coming to Game Pass now, which is amazing. And like, that's a good example of, you can play that solo. You don't have to play with anybody. You can play with somebody and it might change your experience some, but you're still just playing. Yeah. And so that, I think that's a good take there. I just find that a fascinating element in how interesting gaming is. Like I want my Art the Clown Terrifier game on my Steam Deck for when I'm traveling, but I don't really need to play that on my big screen, Yeah. It's just interesting stuff. So any other standout? Like I know I got Silent Hill 2. I know I'm getting one more. I haven't decided which one. Any idea what you're getting, if anything?
If I can get Donkey Kong Bonanza, that'd be cool, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. As far as games go, I'm actually not really going to be digging around for games. I have in one instance, at least I bought myself something because that's kind of how I go about stuff. But there's one thing that I picked up, and it's because I'm a PC gamer, and it's because I tend to just kind of spend a lot of my time going and actually spending most of my week or on the computer. So I ended up picking this thing up, and I'm trying to see if I can actually grab the image to kind of showcase like what this thing is. But it's a little hanger that you attach to your desk. And what it does is it effectively just has a place for your controllers and for your headphones. And it's just a quick little attachment. It just kind of clips onto the side of your desk. But I had one that was just for my headphones. And I saw this one and it was for my controllers. And I thought, this is freaking cool. So it's just a basic generic like 3.1 or 3-in-1 kind of thing. But I absolutely love that. So I picked that up for myself just as a little gift. And been looking for other stuff on Amazon as well too, like monitors, always looking for monitors, always looking for like a backup mouse or something like that. But more accessories on sales and stuff like that I've been looking at. Like I almost bought a really nice monitor at Costco that was like $150. It was a 2K monitor, really good refresh rate, good latency, NVIDIA G-Sync compatible. The Versa mount was for 70 as opposed to 100 millimeter for the square on the back that you do like the mounted arms for. And it was just like, it was too small. And even though my mounting arms for my computer have like the right size, the monitor itself wouldn't fit on the back of that. And I was just like, oh, it was perfect. I was going to pick up two 27-inch monitors at 2K for with 180 refresh rate. And I was just like, man, almost had me, Costco. So that's kind of what I wanted to look at, because I've already got a huge backlog. And if you guys are fans of Season Gaming, they just put out a video about how your backlog is not a burden. It was a really interesting video about how, games that you don't click with, that you may not be a part of something that you would like normally play. It just may not be the right time for you to jump into it. And it's definitely something that I've experienced in my life, where I've played a game, it just didn't click, and then I put it down, and then eventually for some reason I came back to it at a different point in my life, and it just clicked, and it just made sense, and I got to really kind of enjoy it. So I think about all the games that I have like on my backlog, like Star Wars Outlaws, Ghost of Yotei, stuff like that I'm like, I want to play those. I just haven't given myself the opportunity to get away from multiplayer games to do that. You're muted, sir. How dare you?
I apologize. I didn't want you to hear me click-clacking when I was looking up stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Would you, if you're able, can you put a link for that video in chat? I'd like to promote Season Gaming in general.
Yeah.
But also that's a good,
my history.
It sounds like a good watch later for sure.
It was fun. I was curious because I thought I knew where the video was actually going to go. I thought I had pegged based on the actual like header or title of the video of what I was going to expect. And by the time I got done with it, I was like, it's a nice little kind of expose on how you should treat your backlogs and stuff. And I was like, nice.
Very cool. All right, Logan, let's shift gears. We did get some good questions in Discord today. I know Hometown Hero dropped one that is very useful as well. So if you want to snag those while I bring up our next topic, which was the Xbox Partner Preview, which for all intents and purposes, I really enjoyed. I watched it this morning in 4K. Really thought they did a great job with the Partner Preview. Really liked the majority of the games that I saw. This one had a lot of games that spoke to me, which isn't always the case in a Partner Preview. But I found myself really being interested in a lot of what they showed. It was about 30 minutes long. It's a good watch. I thought they had a really nice balance, cadence, and in a window of time where I wasn't expecting Xbox to really give us any good looking showcase anything. I mean, we've had price upticks. We've had kind of some rough hardware news, and just in general, Xbox it's not a good feeling, despite Real talk, having so many good games this year. Maybe not Black Ops 7, but quick aside on Black Ops 7. Our buddy David Burdett is taking some hits, man. Gave that game a 10 and everyone else is going after it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shout out to you. I've been on the other side of that where I really liked a game people did not like or a movie people didn't like. Stay strong. Enjoy what you like. That's a message to every listener. Enjoy the things you like. Don't feel bad for them. And it's okay if people don't like it too. I say that knowing full well that I don't always take my own advice there.
Gotham Knights. It's interesting to sorry, what was that?
Whatever.
It was interesting to see that they've actually opened up the end game to the campaign because they're noticing that players are not making it to the end of the campaign, but they still want that mode accessible for people.
I saw that end boss and I was like, ouch.
It's a trip.
Like something
I need to go back and actually finish it. The problem is that I was playing with A-Chick and it did not seem like something she was interested in. So I'm not going to force her to sit down and play something she's not interested in when she's got Arc Raiders and Sea Thieves and all kinds of, Rust and Valheim and all these other games that she likes to jump into. So I am hitting up the nerd chat to see if Chance Bubble Boy and Daddy D Wally, famous for his Joker impression.
Oh my God, it was so this last episode, man. To see the audacity to mock Heath Ledger's Joker and then come in with his own impression.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it hurt me.
But I love those guys. And they said that they wanted to go through it. So I would love to be able to like sit down and start through the campaign and work through it with them. Kind of the same way that I think a lot of folks like to go through Halo games on co-op. Yeah, it's one of those, like, it's more about who you're playing it with as opposed to, the campaign itself. Like the campaign can be cool, but I genuinely just want to spend some time with those guys because I think they're really good human beings.
Oh yes. Well,
until I find out otherwise.
In that we agree. But now let's talk about this partner preview because I really did enjoy it, man. Had some good stuff in there. Xbox coming in with a good showcase. There were some ups and downs as you would expect, but if they always say, like, if you can leave having liked 3 things, then it's a big win because they're trying to hit a little something for everybody. And I really found myself leaving with at least 3, if not 5, that I was just like, yeah, let's go. We saw 007 first light again. I'm tired of seeing that game. The game does not need to be there. I know I'm going to talk about all these good things. 007 is a game I'm sold on. Don't need to be sold on more, but it consistently shows up everywhere. And this was just a trailer for an Aston Martin. So clearly a marketing thing. I don't need to see that. I appreciate 007 for what it's doing. The game looks great. I'm long since over 007 First Light. I'm going to play it. I know it. I'm moving on.
Can I talk a little thing though? Like, okay, Aston Martins are like, they're really nice cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a big get for them to be able to be allowed to play around with Aston Martins though. Like it's integral to the history of Bond films. They're very sought after as cars back in the day. So seeing that they're taking First Light and taking a new version of an Aston Martin it's really cool to kind of see them kind of go with that. Cause I think, many of us were probably going to be looking and seeing like, what were they going to do? Were they going to pull in like a classic Aston Martin to give to Bond? But this was one of those things where like when they showed this, I was just like, okay, they genuinely want to make this feel like a Bond film as opposed to just like a Hitman game with a Bond skin on it. And with the collector's edition and the the golden gun and stuff, they're really trying to like pull from the history of Bond and still make it new, which I think is better than just trying to rehash past Bond stuff. So it's a little thing, but getting Aston Martin on board with Aston Martin on board with it, I think is really big.
I agree that Aston Martin is a big deal. I think I'm just tired of seeing trailers for it because it's at every showcase. However, Zach
Yeah.
Riley 64 saying, I think that 007 being there was mainly to point out that it's play anywhere. Absolutely a good point, and something that I was going to kind of bring up at the end of this bit, but it makes more sense now that I'm thinking about it. Play anywhere is Xbox's new direction. Clearly, someone in our Discord, not myself, said that it's kind of their new Game Pass, like Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. Now they're saying play anywhere, play anywhere, play anywhere, which is great. I think that's good because if I get a Steam machine and I bought a game, I don't know, Steam, if I get a game, I want it available on whatever device I have.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, I want play anywhere to evolve. Yes, that's cool. So that's a good point from Zach Riley, and then Freight Conductor backing you up on the idea of like car licenses are no joke, for sure, for sure. So you're right that it's good. I think I'm just ready to buy and play First Light, not keep seeing it show up. Like it's going to be a Game Awards, and that's when I'm going to go get my drink. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to watch Game Awards, but you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not going to pay attention to it.
Again. What if they give Steam Decks away like at every commercial break though? Like you got to pick the games. You got to pick the games that you're going to go get your drinks for, because if they do the Game Awards commercials, and that's when they start throwing, Steam consoles out at people on codes that you got to like type in.
We need to stay focused because we're going to go talk about those Game Awards, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But we're going to stay focused here. But I know Clover Pit was in that announcement, which looks cool in and of itself. I thought Total Chaos looked really good. Like, again, they did some Luke Lore games. Total Chaos is out now on Game Pass. I downloaded that. That looks like a fun first-person shooter that I am like in on. It's got some horror vibes, which I'm stoked for. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, yep, gonna play Total Chaos. That's added in to my queue for sure. Which one are you? Are you running the whole
Clover Pit?
Showing Clover Pit. Yeah, that is not a Luke Lore game in any way, shape, or form. But somehow I see people that are rocking their device, like their remote plays or not, enjoying it. And I feel like X Bacon Gaming is going to come back in a few weeks the way he did Balatro and just scream about Clover Pit. So
it's one of those games I've been seeing people I have a friend who's invested in that game and I know nothing about it. And it's one of those ones where it's like, I'm not a gambler. I'm not a huge fan of like that kind of RNG based stuff. But I also recognize that the essence of slot machines is just the core part of it. It's not, it's like Balatro where it's just like poker. It's poker, but it's not actually poker. It's the concept of poker pulled in. So I'll be curious about this, but we're watching
Total
Chaos right now. And it definitely looks interesting for sure. Like I think they've done a really good job of kind of giving you something that feels, it's like first person Remnant.
It's Xbox 360 era horror is what it looks like to me. Doesn't it just look like an Xbox 360 era game?
It does, yeah.
And that's nostalgically fun. Like got the spooks, which is fun, but like remember back when like Singularity would come out or Dark Void or all these like no-name B tier games.
Yeah.
This game launches today on like no muss, no fuss. You're not going to lose anything. If you like spooky, it looks like you could try it out. This game looks like an Xbox 360 game in tone, not necessarily graphically. It looks like a strong high Xbox One, low Xbox Series X S contender. But I'm here for this one. I'm checking this one out for sure because it was in Game Pass right away. It's like, oh yeah, yep, definitely. Yeah. So I liked that one. I also really liked, let's see, I'm scrolling here. Oh, The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu. I know you're scrolling in the background, pulling these up, which is very nice of you. This one also looked like a loot game, a little bit of a spooky first-person shooter again, which was cool. This one's coming out next year. It's not out now. It's coming out in the summer. Probably going to be delayed to holiday. Just looking at the quality of it, they're going to want to refine it, but it looks really neat. I thought this was a really cool get for the partner preview because it's so unique. I'd not seen or heard of this one before, but I'm liking the look and the vibe.
Yeah. So, the timing frame of it kind of reminds me a bit about Banishers in a weird way. I don't know why. Like that's just the vibe I'm getting. It totally could be different time period and whatnot, but it's just one of those ones that I was just like, oh, this looks cool. I don't know too much about it, but I think that they've done an interesting job. A lot of it just going to have to come down to how refined is the combat, because first person, as we've seen, it's a very hard thing to make it feel good. I think Avowed really showed me this year that you can truly make a first person game with melee and have it feel impactful. So I'm curious to know like how that works, because playing years and years of Sea of Thieves, it's like melee's okay. It's not not the best.
I feel like the two games I just mentioned, and then there's a game that came out in the last month called Beneath, which I refunded, unfortunately, because the frame rate just couldn't flow. It needs to be patched, and I'm going to rebuy it once the frame rate's been cleaned up. But they are, how you see a game come out and you're like, oh, they liked this when they were a kid, right? Like, kids grow up to make the games they enjoyed. Yeah. Well, the Mound, Total Chaos, Beneath, the one, these are people that enjoyed the Xbox 360 era of first-person shooter single-player games. And that's what I think I'm locking into. And it made me happy to see that as a thing, because I enjoyed those. And if they're on Game Pass, then that's your blockbuster rental on a Friday night.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it's not your live service. So those were two call outs that I had that I was like, yep, those are ones that I definitely want to play immediately when they come out. I also really liked, did you see the game Armistice? Yeah, it looks like this third-person action game, third-person action shooter. It looks kind of like Remnant in some ways, but I think it's a single player, but it's another spooky game. So that's just kind of, I mean, obviously I love horror. I say that in a lot of episodes around Halloween, but like it's the third one in the same showcase.
Yeah.
Spooky vibe, shooters, kind of got some Silent Hill meets Remnant vibes to it, which is weird in and of itself.
Oh, really? See, I was getting Devil May Cry meets Destiny.
But you see that? Oh, I see that. Okay, yeah, no, I can see
the literal hunter cloak on this dude.
Yeah, no, that's fine. When I was looking at it was like the over the shoulder thing, but yeah, there's your Destiny. Whatever the ultimates they do are. But I was like, yo, I'm liking Armistice as well. So interested in that one. I don't know enough about it to say like day one, but I like shooting. I like spooky. It says coming in 2026. I can't see this coming out early or even mid 2026. And holidays probably crowded. I bet you see this 2027.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays out, just because it does, to me, it definitely feels like a little bit of Devil May Cry, a little bit of Destiny too with the hunter. The idea of you're just like this person kind of going through to take out demons from the hellfires and stuff, and you're this kind of ultimate soldier kind of going through for whatever creed is kind of pulled them in. It looks interesting to kind of see like how that's going to work out. But I agree with you. I'm hoping that they it's from the people that made Greedfall. Okay, so yeah, same vein in that sense. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays compared to like Greedfall and Greedfall 2.
Yeah, no, for sure. Freight Conductor being just an incredible
good resource.
Yeah, nailing it today.
Man behind the computer today.
Indeed. I haven't seen in a bit is Matt Valdez. I want to give Matt Valdez some love. I heard his name recently. I like Matt. Let's see what other games were on there. Oh, this is just neat. Dave the Diver now out on Xbox, which is kind of cool. I know that's a very popular series. I have it on my Steam Deck, but I've not booted it up just yet. I hope that the Godzilla stuff's in there. But nice to see that one arriving. No, that was like a timed DLC, so licensing. No telling on that one. But nonetheless, interested, I guess you would say, to check that one out.
Yeah. Did you? I know we've talked about this in the past. What did you think of the Vampire Survivors? Because this is one that I was looking at when they started to show. First off, they showed the old man, and as soon as I saw like the thing that he threw up was like, it looked like garlic. I was like, oh, this is Vampire Survivors. I know the graphics are fancy, but this is definitely Vampire Survivors. But they're going with a card battler in a way that they're like doing wizardry in kind of like that corridor RPG aspect of a game, and it's like they're paying tribute to some old games, but they're taking Vampire Survivor in a totally different way, and it's really interesting because if I was to if I was to put on like a bingo card of what I expected out of Vampire Survivor, this was not it. I would never have expected this. I'd have been like, oh, they're going to do another they're going to be doing another collaboration with what's going on. Sorry, you can see my history of what's been on my YouTube. I've been watching World Cams for Christmas and Grounded 2 stuff.
World Cams, please don't get me fired. Don't know what this is. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, I know what you mean now. Yeah.
There's little Christmas villages around the world during different times, and they have different time zones, and it has Christmas music playing in the background, and there's no audio, so it doesn't mess with like me having to register what people are saying. Or it has audio, but there's no lyrics to any of the Christmas songs, so it's a perfect background music while I'm working to just have something that's moving. Because you look over at like the Christmas village in Finland, and people are like waving their hands at the webcam, and it's all snowy and stuff. Anyway, it's something I like when I'm at work. Everybody has a second screen thing. All right.
No, I'm not judging in the slightest. Like, really,
I'm feeling it.
I was like, you're feeling, but it's not there. Like, truly,
the aura of judgment's coming through.
Not even a little, man. It's in your head. I'm not judging in the slightest. As far as Vampire Survivors goes, I love the first Vampire Survivors, and I have all the DLCs, and I really put a lot of time into them on multiple devices. And I have zero interest in this new one. It had me at Vampire Survivors. You lost me at Card Anything. The counterpoint to that is, if you'd showed me Vampire Survivors, I would be like, that looks terrible. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm addicted. So not in any way interested at this time. One might change, but people, it's like Balatro. I have no interest in playing that game, but people are stoked for it. Rock on.
They got me. They freaking like, because Joe talked about it. Joe play Mr. Badbit from PlayStation Trophy Room, if you guys don't know. He kept talking about it. I was like, for one, I hate roguelikes. For two, I hate card battlers. And for three, I'm not good at poker. So I'm not going to like this game.
Yeah.
And then that just completely flipped its head. And I was like, oh my God, this is one of those games that I'm willing to jump into. I did a Ball Pit, same thing. Apparently I like roguelikes. I don't know what it is, but I completed a 1K'd Ball Pit. And I even did it before X Bacon Gaming, who had like 40 hours on me. And I was like, this is insane. I have to complete everything on this game. I have to do it. So I looked at this and they purposefully, they even joked at the end of the trailer about how they managed to do it without, they managed to announce and talk about the game without talking about it being a card battler. And I absolutely hate card battlers. I think that it's such an overused mechanic right now. So when I looked at this and I saw that that's what it was, I was like, okay, well, I liked Wizardry that Digital Eclipse remade, and I liked Vampire Survivors, so I'll give it a shot.
I never played it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a traditional RPG. You're going down corridors, you check rooms, there's monsters, there's stuff to loot. You progress as far as you can, and then you return home. You dump what you got. You level up your character. It's basically Arc Raiders if you were a dungeon and you were just going in, and it was in medieval times and the graphics were super limited.
Don't try and sell me on that game by using Arc Raiders. That's not.
I'm just telling you.
It's not gonna work.
You go to the dungeon.
It's like Superman.
You kill and loot stuff. You take that home, you level up your character. If you die, you lose everything, and then you go back into the dungeon. It's exactly like our
right. Yeah, no, totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Okay. Yep. No. I saw a couple other things in the partner preview that I thought looked cool but didn't necessarily speak to me. Shout out to Echo Generation 2, and a lot of people are excited for that one. Crownsworn, not for me, but impressive looking. And Roadside Research looks like it has a humor vibe that I know a lot of people are going to dig. So
that one was an interesting one to kind of look at, because at first I didn't know what this was going to be about, and I thought it was just going to be another simulator game. And then they brought in the whole like they're aliens and you have to try and like act like a human, but they're clearly just having like pieces of paper on front of their face to kind of emulate humans and stuff. But then you get to actually like decorate the paper that you're doing. I was kind of sold on that.
Yeah,
I was like, you could just wait. There's going to be some stupid looking faces that people are going to do. But it comes down to one of those things where it's like, there may be something deeper to this that we don't know about, because the presentation, it's like Power Wash Simulator. Like, you don't really know why you would do this, but once you jump in, you kind of start feeling it and it starts kind of clicking with you, and it's a good, just chill game. Yeah. So it's odd. It's interesting, but I appreciate that they're coming out with weird stuff still. Like RV There Yet is another one of these weird games that's just like, why would I play a game about driving an RV through weird stuff? But it's a co-op game. There was another one that came out called Zoo Punk.
Talk for 1 second. I'm listening. I just need to go do something.
No worries. There's this one was interesting with Zoo Punk. It felt like Biomutant meets Star Fox. And I was genuinely like trying to just figure out, like, are they serious about this? Are they really trying to go the whole what do they call it? The anthropomorphic animals?
Anthropomorphic.
Okay, thank you. The anthropomorphic animals for this. And it's, I don't know, man. In a world where I grew up with Star Fox and absolutely love Star Fox, I look at this and I think this could have been a Nintendo game where they brought in Slippy when he was young, and he was like, before he was part of the Star Fox team and he had his own crew. This is totally like the type of thing that I would expect that to kind of come from. But watching it, it looks like it could be good. It could be like a good AA game, but it's one of those things where it's like, I want to see where how good are the sevens. So this is going to be one of those ones that I can kind of get a vibe for and say like, okay, this feels like it's going to be a 7, but there might be something to it. And those are the type of games that I think we find that more and more people generally don't give a whole lot of time to. But the environment looks good. It doesn't look like your typical Unreal Engine 5 game. And the combat looks like it's dynamic enough that it would be good, but still enough hack and slash to be fun. So it's strange, but I'm going to try and go into it with the mindset of, this is like a third person over the shoulder action adventure game in the world of like a Star Fox with just really nice graphics, if Nintendo knew what graphics were.
Zoo Punk does look cool. This looks to me like, because here's your insider information of the day. The Last Ronin game is in trouble. The one from Black Forest, I believe. And I think devs even stalled on it, but that might be, somebody else might know more, but there's your insider info. Man, I feel like if the devs of that are watching this, they're like, maybe we do that. Should we do that? Yeah. What if we did that? Buy that, put them in there. Like, because this looks so good. The martial arts looks so clean. I have a feeling this is a game I'm definitely going to be checking out at some point. The question is, do I stick with it? Because I was really interested in Biomutant, and I didn't stay with it.
Yeah.
And I shout out to Ainsley Bowden, who swears up and down Biomutant was a 9. Zoo Punk looks cool. I'd play this for sure. I mean, like, the more I watch it and the more I even think about it, when I first saw it in the preview, I was like, that looks neat. Now, the more I watch it just in general, I'm like, yep, sold.
Yeah, and it's all going to come down to how good the combat is, because I think that's where they're really trying to showcase, like, this is what our combat feels like, and it does kind of evoke some of those like old Space Marine game kind of feel. But it's one of those ones where it's like, if this was done by Nintendo and it was a Star Fox game and it was Slippy the Hare before he got old and joined Star Fox, like that would be an interesting story, because that's the vibe that I've been getting. It's or the what was that game that Ubisoft swore that they were going to make, and they came out with one trailer and then they just like hung it on a shelf. Yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like, that's where I feel like this would have lived if that game. Here's a good call out. Clutch Kwando coming in with the Jazz Jackrabbit 2. Holy PS2 days.
That's Jazz Jackrabbit's even older, man.
Is it?
Yeah. That's Cliffy B's first game. That's the first one he made, was Jazz Jackrabbit. You're thinking of Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Daxter, I think.
No, there was most. I'll see if I can dig it up, but there was definitely something on PlayStation that was there was a rabbit game that was like a space. I can't remember, but I definitely know that there was for sure you know what? I figured it out. It's Bucky O'Hare. Bucky O'Hare is what I'm thinking.
I don't even know what that is, but I know Jack. You know what? We should have messaged Cliff Blizzinski and been like, "Hey, did you see this?"
Yeah.
O'Hare.
Right. See if he.
Bucky O'Hare that's who that is. I remember like very short cartoons about this character or something. He looks cool. Is this from a game or a show or what? Like, how do I know this?
It was comics and a game, and I want to say it was a show, but I can't remember there specifically being a show about it. But it was definitely very prolific.
Cool. Nice. Very cool. Any other things that you want to shout out from the partner preview before we talk Xbox 360 memories?
Oh, there were some other, like, Tides of Annihilation came out, and I was like, okay.
Is that game out?
Well, it didn't come out. Sorry, they announced it. But that was one that I know a lot of people are like super talking about this one. I'm just like, I don't know. It kind of looks a little boring to me.
This is just talking to the Final Fantasy fan group, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's fair. That's fair.
They're just talking to Final Fantasy fans, and that wasn't us. We tried. We both tried, didn't we?
You did. You tried 16. I never got a chance to check out 16.
I watched a lot of 16.
Yeah. It definitely. I probably should actually check out 16 because it's the one. What was it? Daddy Diwali over at the Nerd Chat said that it was the longest game he ever played in the history of video games.
That's truly, like, if you don't watch this and think to yourself, "Oh, I'm so in," don't do it. Like, that's how I strongly feel about Final Fantasy games, because for people they hit with, they fall in love, and it takes them down this incredible rabbit hole of joy. And I respect that all day long, because I do that, right? I'll go full tism and just deep dive an entire thing. Like, I wish there were movies that had the spirit of Arc Raiders, so I could just full immerse myself in that. I love doing that.
It's called 12 Monkeys, and then never ventured. 12 Monkeys was a time travel one, but the idea was that the future was very much like that. I still maintain to this day that Arc Raiders is what the world of Zion would be if it didn't focus on. It would be the world of Matrix if it didn't focus on Neo. If you had a TV series that was just about the Raiders in the Matrix,
the style, the gameplay, yes, but not the style. The style is very, very different. But I see what you're saying. I mean, like, it's just the machines are very anime inspired. But yeah, bottom line, this game looks really cool for the Final Fantasy people. That's just what it just looks like. You're
very over the top.
Yeah, we like Final Fantasy. We're gonna make a game like Final Fantasy. Enjoy, and rock on, have fun. So, let's transition, Logan. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to our patrons, and then I want us to talk some Xbox 360 memories before we get out of here.
Yeah.
We want to thank everybody that's gone to patreon.com/Xbox Expansion Pass and offered your support. Many of you have also done that over on the YouTube side and helped us keep the lights on and the content coming. So thank you. We always give shout outs to our tier 2 and 3 members. And this month, that includes the incredible Glyphere. Sorry. Jimmy. Oh my gosh, I moved the thing and now. Okay, there we go. Glyphere. Jimmy. Meadows 1606, Matt Valdez, Clutch Kwando, Omen, Jesse Prius, Fado, Aaron G, Nick Bentley, The Scarecrow, Ken Rosing, Fabian Winkler, Regis Stella the Brony Pirate, Rob Frawley II, Tao Zochi, Nicholas Johnson, Randolph Thor 19, African, Game Positive, Jam Pack Sam, Red Beast, and his kids, Dano 12, DJ Hero, Brendan Myers, aka The Winter Gamer, the Lord Sir Master James Suddy, and Sony's VP of Marketing, Kevin Butler. Thank you guys for supporting XEP in any way that you can. If the finances aren't there or times are tight, please just hit that like button and share. We appreciate the time you spend with us here on our channels. Thank you guys. There you go. Boom. I bumped the mouse right when I started. I was like, no, and it didn't come back. So that was a frustrating thing.
If a mistake happens, you never address it.
That's fine. I feel like at this point, if they've been with us for 299 episodes,
never address it.
Nah, they can know all my flaws at this point. There's no secret. There's no secret. I just hope they hang out with us and enjoy it. Logan, if not for the Xbox 360, my life would be very, very different, wholeheartedly in so many different ways, in the best and worst of ways. The Xbox 360 is what brought me into gaming as I was starting to fade out. I was kind of just fading away from gaming. I was in college. I'd had my GameCube, my PS2, and my I didn't actually have an old Xbox at the time. And I was just kind of like, maybe not. And I saw a trailer for Gears of War, and I desperately wanted to play it. Just desperately, man. Couldn't afford it in college, so I raked professors' lawns, did lawn work for professors, and I sold plasma. All just it's what I did. All so I could get an Xbox 360 off of not Facebook Marketplace, but whatever the equivalent was for our specific college at the time, and got an arcade one, and then had a hard drive attached to it. And I played Gears of War, man, and my life just changed forever. And here we are 20 years later. Some of my best gaming moments are with the Xbox 360. 100%ing Red Dead Redemption 2 was an incredible experience. Left 4 Dead, the first time I went and battled zombies, hearing the witch scream through a cornfield in the dark was amazing. Halo Reach was what got me into Halo. That's the Xbox 360. That was just amazing. That was an experience for me. The first time I played Arkham Asylum really showed me superhero games can be not cheap cash-ins or just brawlers, which was just wonderful. I have just so many standout memories and moments of the Xbox 360 that I am just grateful for. And here on the 20th anniversary, the day after I'm celebrating my 40th birthday, it's a neat, I guess, full circle moment for me. And I am just grateful for it. And I have more memories. I'll be glad to answer questions if people have them in the chats. But that's just kind of my off-the-cuff thoughts on the 360 and how much I miss it and that vibe. Oh, I did treat myself to one birthday present.
Oh.
That it's the physical edition of an Xbox 360 game because it doesn't exist digitally for Xbox. I have it on Steam Deck and PlayStation, but it's the Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition.
Oh,
so it's got all the DLC. They don't have it digitally on Xbox anywhere, but that's the only game ever where you can play with Henry Cavill's Superman suit and with Zod's version from Man of Steel. So my favorite version of a hero. It's the only video game version. So I really wanted that for my library just to have because you can't get it anywhere else. And so that was a really happy arrival for me. Awesome. It was only $10 and it made me feel good to get. So
there you go.
Yeah. Like I said, a good happy week. Those are some 360 thoughts for me. Any standout ones for you?
Oh, of course, dude. Yeah. If it wasn't for my buddy and his parties, I would have never found out about Rock Band. because by the time the Xbox 360 had come out, I was still deep into World of Warcraft. Like I was still like inundated with like World of Warcraft stuff, right? So going over to my buddy's place in Alaska and having parties after like shows that we did and stuff, and just New Year's parties and Christmas parties and stuff like that. We'd always go over to his house and we would hang out. And he had a Wii and he had an Xbox 360 and Rock Band. And I had never like experienced Rock Band before because I'd always just been PC gaming since like, 2000. And having or actually probably like 2004. So like having that experience kind of opened my eyes to like what was going on in the console space. And I remember one day I came over because they were just hanging out and I was bored. So I went over to their place and everyone was kind of hanging out on the couch and they were playing through a game. And I just kind of sat down. I actually still have a picture of me from when I was over there and it was, I look back at that and think, what the hell was I thinking? Looking at what I was wearing and how I was acting, I was like, this is the most immature 20-something-year-old you could ever imagine.
But I remember, man, we're not who we're. Yeah, that's okay.
So I remember watching, and I was like watching them play this game, and I was like, dude, this is like gory. This is kind of wild. Like, what is this? And they're like, oh, this is Gears 2. And I was like, what the hell is Gears of War 2? And I just kind of kept watching them. Yeah. So I was watching them and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm very interested to kind of find out more about it. So I went and started doing some digging, asking some questions and stuff. And I was genuinely just like, okay, I don't know how or why, but I genuinely would like to have the Xbox console so that I can get access to this. And the more and more I played with them and just kind of like hung out with them and asked questions and stuff, the more I started to find out about games like Space Marine. I started to find out about games like Mass Effect 2 and all these things. And the person that I was seeing at the time, they ended up getting me an Xbox 360 for Christmas. And it was just kind of like hey, I know you've been wanting one. Here's this. And here's also Gears of War. And it had, and I got Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. And I brought my buddy over and he and I sat down and we binged 1 through 3 over the course of like 4 days.
That's so
and
cool.
Just absolutely enjoyed it and stuff. And then I got to play through like some of the Zumba games on the Kinect and the Just Dance games on Kinect and like the bowling and stuff like that, and have that kind of Kinect experience. And that it was a good year. It was a good year and a half or so that I had that before we ended up selling a bunch of stuff and moving. But it was one of those times where I was like, I don't have the fondness for like the 360 blade system that they had the way a lot of people do, because I genuinely didn't have that console for very long before I ended up selling it. But it was one of those things where I will always appreciate the 360 for getting me back into consoles, because if it wasn't for my buddy and his, I would have been like, nah, PlayStation 3 is too expensive. Nah, I'm not going to do waggle on the Wii. I would rather just play games that are cool and like have them on a system that is not going to break the bank. So the Xbox 360 with the different versions that they had for the hard drive sizes and stuff, and the S, and like how they did their systems, it was easy enough for me to get into that ecosystem and just have that. And then come to find out that they wanted you to like pay for Xbox. I think you had to have like a silver account.
Yeah,
that was like the baseline or something.
Silver was free. Gold was the paid one. Yeah.
So I was like, why do I have to have gold? So I went with silver for a very, very long time.
That's such a cool story that you got to arrive to that console and just have this massive catalog to check out.
Yeah.
I used to, it's truly a precursor to Game Pass. Like when I first got my big kid job, I got a subscription to Blockbuster, like their version of what was called Game Pass, truly.
Oh yeah.
And you could just rent as many games as you want one at a time. And so I would just rent a new one every weekend and play. This was before I met my buddy Hometown Hero, who's in chat saying Guitar Hero 3 and Rock Band, the GOATs. and then follows up with 360 era was the best era. One of my several standout 360 memories come from playing games with Kev. And then I saw him play Rock Band or something on the drums, and I was like, this is absurd how good somebody is at that. It was wild. And then we had a really cool event where we all went with our like fighting games. We all went and played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on 360, and then also Street Fighter 4. And we had fight sticks, and we were all having a good time. And like some people were really good, some not, but everybody was just having a good time and eating pizza, watching TV. I think it was a New Year's thing, and most of that night was really cool. And then other times where it's like he and I were sharing an apartment at one point, and we were playing Halo 4 or Mass Effect 3's multiplayer version, and being able to just yell across the apartment, but also experiencing it together in game. So much fun, just so much fun. And the 360 really was the best era for me in gaming in my life. And I wonder if other people have that, because as generations fade away, it's kind of a bummer. But I'm genuinely grateful to Xbox for their backward compatibility programs, because getting to go back and play some of those games or just see them, like Condemned Criminal Origins, just seeing that as a thing you can play, that's so cool. That's just so cool. The first Perfect Dark is terrible on 360. But you can play it. The Rare Replay collection, so cool. Project Gotham, so cool. Need for Speed, Most Wanted. They don't all age well, but it's just so neat. And then, like, remember Xbox Live Arcade?
No, so that's the thing, is I never got to experience that.
Man.
But I always, what was that one game where you were like a little robot that you hit, or like a little thing, and you had to go shoot all the other Geometry Wars.
Geometry Wars, yeah.
I remember seeing Geometry Wars, and for years wanting to play that game because it looked so fun. And when I on my mother's grave in the future, if there was a point where I literally had bought an Apple TV because of the promise of getting it and not having to invest in a console to be able to play it, because they had like brought Geometry Wars over, and I was like, oh, I finally get to play Geometry Wars. And I bought a controller for my Apple TV just so I could play that. And in hindsight, it was because I was rationalizing like, oh, well, I'm going to be an Apple TV boy. I'm going to be an Apple boy for the rest of my life. I'm not.
We've all done that thing.
So it was one of those things. I was like, oh, I want to play Geometry Wars. I'm finally going to get access to it and stuff like that, instead of just buying an Xbox and getting to actually play it and stuff. So I never got to do the whole like live arcade thing. I missed out on all of that. So it wasn't until probably the Xbox One that I got like hard back into Xbox, because it was like Xbox One all the way up to Halo 2, and then 2004 came out, and a little game that no one heard about called World of Warcraft came out, and I decided to support these indie developers for the next 7 years of my life.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
I want to call.
Not many people do. Not many people do, and you know what? Probably for the best, because they've had some weird issues in the past, but I think they might be coming out somewhere. I think like maybe one day they'll get picked up by someone.
Maybe. I do want to give shout outs to just some of my Xbox 360 arcade favorite games, because I mentioned some of my 360 games, from Arkham and Red Dead and Gears, Halo, that kind of stuff. But the Xbox 360 arcade Battlefield 1943 was such a fun game. That game was so much fun. That introduced me to Battlefield, actually, which paved the way to a different friendship. Bionic Commando Rearmed was really cool to see that exist. That was a fun one. I guess Aegis Wing, everybody played that one if you had an Xbox 360 back in the day, which was fun. Let's see. They did some really good Sega remasters at the time, like of the Genesis collection and Costume and Comic Zone. That was fun. Hydro Thunder was in there. Yeah, I see Zach Riley coming in with the greatest hits. I'm gonna read his list because he's doing what I'm doing. Explosion Man was absolutely one of them. Hydro Thunder Hurricane, let's go. I love that one. Shadow Complex. Oh my gosh, Shadow Complex was the GOAT. Trials HD and Castle Crashers, Monday Night Combat, I never got into Gotham City Imposters. First, but I do remember it. Dash of Destruction was this dumb dinosaur game. I think it was made by Doritos. That was a fun like Xbox 360 arcade one. I know this seems silly, but like these were pivotal moments when Doom and Doom 2 came to Xbox 360 arcade. We were all like, "Wait, what?" Dust and Elysian Tale was in there. I'm just scrolling like a big list and just calling some out because they're just, for me, they are nostalgic, and I hope that like other people are getting something out of it as well. Snoopy Flying Aces, Doritos Crash Course. That's it. Zach Riley, good man. Doritos Crash Course. All the Sonic games from Genesis did come out on there, which was wild. Spelunky was on there, which was cool. State of Decay. The first State of Decay was
really?
a big deal. That was an Xbox 360 arcade game, Logan.
That's wild.
It is wild. Sneak King. Yeah, that was the Xbox One. No, that's not right. The first Xbox and Xbox 360 transitional games, like you could buy it and it would work on either one. One of 3 games to come from Burger King, which was crazy at the time. Let's see. I'm looking at a few of these. Magic the Gathering, Duel of the Planeswalkers. When Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came, Mega Man 9 and 10, Logan. Those games were really cool. They came out and everyone was like, oh my gosh, they're making new Mega Man games. That was really
wild.
Cool. They looked like old stuff. And I think the other one, what is it? 1 vs. 100. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah. We never found out if the one ever won.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people did win. I know what you're doing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just really want people to know how much fun that 360 console was across so many things, whether it was live arcade, Xbox Live, for the first time hearing somebody in voice chat for a lot of people, or even just playing some of those games, solo. Just really, really cool. So I wanted to shout it out. I love the Xbox 360. It's what made me fall in love with Xbox in general. Again, I went to PlayStation 4 for a bit, but came back when Halo Master Chief Collection and 5 came out. And so just really appreciative to everyone that made the 360 happen. And I hope everybody that enjoyed just me reminiscing. So,
yeah, it was a really cool system. It was a really, really interesting time to see like everyone kind of be like, dude, Xbox is where it's at. And I was like, okay, it's good, but it's no World of Warcraft. And then I converted eventually.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be it for me. I am going to be playing some Arc Raiders today. I'm going to be playing some Silent Hill 2 today. I'm going to be checking out Terrifier over on Xbox because I want to snag that one because it looks fun. So, or I'm going to grab that one on Steam, I think. And really just be scanning these Black Friday deals and celebrating my birthday weekend. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I will probably. I have another podcast this afternoon that I'll be recording for Sea of Thieves, and I'll probably be working on that. Outside of that, I don't have any plans to play anything in particular. So I'm sure at some point I will probably be jumping on to something multiplayer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably. I don't know. I've kind of been wanting to go back and do my comics because I have a bunch of comics that I haven't sat down and read too. So I'm kind of like thinking maybe just disconnect for a little bit, sit there and read some actual words on pages, touch paper. It's kind of the equivalent of grass.
Oh, we did forget. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you because we forgot Kevin's question. He had a really good one.
Oh, okay. Well,
he really did
in the show notes if you wanted to.
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I missed it. I'm going to put this
Which
in.
Kev?
Hometown.
Okay, because we got both Kevs.
So he wrote an essay for us, which is taking up half the screen. Hometown Hero says, I've seen a social comment or two related to the sustainability of battle passes in live service games. Every game has one. If you play multiple live service games simultaneously, the monthly cost really adds up thanks to FOMO. I even saw someone say they'd rather go back to a loot system than buy a battle pass. Do you think battle passes are starting to lose favor? Would you welcome the return of a loot box system or any other form of service monetization? That genuinely is a fantastic question from Kevo. I've got my answer immediately off the cuff ready to go. It's up to you.
Go for it.
You want to start?
Jump in.
So I love battle passes. I think they're fantastic. I think a lot of games have started catching on to the idea that having a battle pass is good, but losing access to them, not good. So you see Marvel Rivals, one of the most successful live service games to enter into and remain in the fray in the last few years. You can play any one of their battle passes. You can pay for all of them at once. You can work through one at a time and use the monetization that comes from them to buy the next one quite well. But you never lose access to that content. So the FOMO is artificial, and anyone that pays attention is getting to enjoy them. You see this happening with Halo, or Halo Infinite did this. You never lost access to that stuff. I think Fortnite will be the last holdout on time gated ones, because even they are now recycling old things. After X amount of time, they can bring stuff back. They did that to their terms of service a couple years ago. I believe Arc Raiders also, you don't lose out. You can go back to that old deck when a new one arrives. Decks or battle passes and Arc Raiders. But more and more we see that games are shifting away from time-gated versions, and that's the future. I do not want loot boxes to come back. I do not enjoy them. I don't like the way. I like to be able to see what I'm going to get if I put in X amount of time or money, and then I can make my choice with an informed method. Even if it's taking advantage of me as a consumer, I like to know that I'm being taken advantage of. Clip that. There you go. I guess that's the big thing, but I really like the not time gating battle passes. If you want to, I think we're seeing instead people are time gating events, right? I play Dead by Daylight. If I don't go through the Haunted by Daylight event or the Bone Chill event, I'm going to miss access to these cosmetics until next year when they'll be in the store. So I can unlock them this year. If I put in the time, I can buy them in the store next year. Fortnite does something similar in many cases. So I think that's the future of this, but I love this question.
Yeah, I'm in the mindset of battle passes, for all intents and purposes, are optional. There's no one forcing you to buy a battle pass. I like that with a lot of the games right now, you can work through a battle pass and still earn levels through it without having to buy it. So that in this instance, a lot of the time what I'll do, and I may be doing this in a way that maybe disingenuous to the intent of getting it, but I spend a lot of time in custom matches. We don't need to talk about what kind of custom matches, but in Fortnite there's a lot of custom worlds that you can go to, and you can earn XP how you want, and a lot of those ones I tend to go through till I get to the point where I feel like I've earned enough levels and gotten to certain tiers where there's characters that I want before I'll purchase a battle pass. Now, thankfully, the date is November 22nd, which means if you're a Game Pass Ultimate fan, you now have Fortnite Crew in your library. You can log in, you can install Fortnite through your Xbox app, which means you just get the battle passes and you get the currency. So if that weren't a case, I typically would have waited to get all the levels that I wanted to in that battle pass before I actually purchased it. If this was a loot box system, if we were going back to loot boxes, then we would be investing money up front without the promise of actually getting what we want through that. That's not to say that loot box systems aren't a good way to try and allow you to get something just through RNG for a minimal cost. So Heroes of the Storm, for example, is a great way of going about loot boxes. They still do loot boxes, and they have event loot boxes as well too that have certain cosmetics for that event. But all of those loot boxes are now available. You can grab any of them that you want. All of the loot boxes that are there are all purchased by in-game currency. And if you don't get those, you will get, or if you have something that's a duplicate, you'll get another type of currency that can be used to craft cosmetics that you haven't been able to roll in the loot boxes. So it's a way to kind of monitor, like work through the actual currency systems in there to kind of give players like a rolling chance of getting cosmetics without having to do like a cost investment like battle pass system. And I think that's a really kind of fun way to kind of roll the dice and see what you get. And if it doesn't work, you can re-roll it. Or if you just take it and you get the extra currency, there's a system in place to kind of allow you to eventually get enough currency of another type to just get the cosmetics that you want. I think it's great that people are getting away from battle passes that expire. Seas Thieves is still bad about this in the sense that they give more content in the free pass than they do in the battle pass that's paid. But the content that you get for the paid version is valued more than what the actual pass costs. So you can get, instead of spending, if you spend 10 to 15 bucks on a battle pass, you're going to get at least double that value out of the battle pass if you complete it. But most of the good content is actually going to be on the free version of that each season. The trouble is that they are still doing the time limited seasons for that. I think there's a lot of good ways to kind of go about this. I think being able to buy a battle pass whenever is what I would tend to prefer, kind of how Helldivers has their battle passes, and they're just like themed expansions effectively. You still have to work through the battle pass, but when they come out with a new battle pass, it is effectively just like a little point in time. And if you miss it, you can go back, you can buy it, and then you can work through it. Instead of having to be one of those things where if you didn't buy it at the time, you don't get access to it. And that bothers me, because I'm not going to remember to pick up and buy a battle pass for a game that I'm not playing right now, just because I may want to have access to it later on when I do pick it back up.
Right. Fair. All right, man. Well, I'm glad Kev caught us, because I enjoyed that question. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah.
All righty. That's gonna be it for me. Anything you want to point people towards that they need to see? I know you kind of already did your spiel.
Top of the show again. Todd Oxtra is starting up a new podcast, Why We Play. So definitely check that out. Otherwise, Keelhauled is kind of keelhauling. We're going through. I'm steadily working closer and closer to episode 400. Next week's episode. We haven't talked about this, so I actually don't know if we're doing an episode next weekend. Because typically Thanksgiving weekend is usually a show that most people usually take off. So we haven't had that talk yet. But I know we are actually like on the precipice of like number 300 for XEP. So yep, we'll have to see. We'll be doing something, I'm sure, to talk about the games. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do it this weekend or this coming weekend or the weekend after.
I did ask Xbox if they could spare anybody to come hang out with us.
Yeah.
They could.
And we were lowballing it too. We were like, you got any interns?
Yeah.
Is there anybody like you got a janitor who's maybe seen like a billboard you could send over, a receptionist who wants to do their nails during the, like, we were willing to take any and all. Yep. And unfortunately it was one of those things where they're just like, no, if you're going to get anybody, it's going to be Sarah, Phil. So sorry, we can't provide them right now, but we'll definitely make sure to get them in the future. You guys deserve to have the top of the top. And I was like, all right, well,
did you get a different email than me? I got one that said no.
Yeah. Yours didn't have a link to go to a website to put in my credit card information afterwards.
I heard about singles in my area that wanted to meet me.
No, I didn't get that one.
No.
But the one that I got said that Phil and Sarah will definitely be there as long as I verify my credit card information for my Xbox account.
Well, you enjoy that.
Okay. Yeah. I might have to go back. All right.
All righty. Well, we don't know if we're doing anything special for episode 300. We just enjoy hanging out with our community, and that's the God's honest truth. So
yeah,
we hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your week and enjoy the games that you're playing, the people you're hanging out with, and maybe ping a Deb. Tell them you appreciate them.
Yeah.
That's gonna be it for us. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Take care.